Hey there, Janae Bowen, and let's talk about sellers and being able to pay closing costs on a contract. So there is a couple of different things that we've got to take in consideration. A lot of times some people will say, hey, if I was to purchase a house for 200,000 and it appraised for 205, can I just include those closing costs into my loan? Well, it doesn't really happen that way because this has to be taken care of and actually agreed upon to be paid for by the seller, because we can't lend you more than what the actual price of the home is. So we would need to, in that scenario, say, hey, seller, we will offer you 205 for the home. And in return, will you pay $5,000 of closing costs on our behalf? And so when you look at it as a net to the seller, it's the same as you were being able to purchase it on a $200,000 offer with a 205 offer and $5,000 in closing costs. So different loan programs require different closing costs as far as the maximum a seller can pay. So on a conventional loan, if you're putting 5% down, you can do a maximum of a 3% seller contribution towards closing costs. If you're doing 10% down, it increases to 6%. And then if you do an FHA loan, they can pay 6% no matter how much money you put down. VA has a 4% limit. And so those are kind of the main three programs that we use a lot with seller pay closing costs. Now you have to be careful because the seller cannot pay more than the actual closing costs are. So if you had that $200,000 home and you asked for 6% in closing costs, that would be $12,000, and therefore the closing costs usually typically aren't that high. So you would be leaving money on the table. So we would want to make sure that you're not leaving any money on the table that the seller has agreed to pay that you may not be eligible to receive. So if you have any questions on this, there's always definitely give us a call, especially if you're looking for something specific for you. We'll help you out, make sure you can get all those closing costs that you can. Talk to you soon.